This time at the Quick Speed Shop, I got a winter project here. I've got a bad emergency brake cable on my 1995 Ford F250, and we're going to jack it up here out in the cold and fix it. I have an emergency brake that runs down the driver's side of the frame here, and as you can see, this lower one is pulled out and it won't return. And that's the one that goes to the driver's side. I either have a problem with the bracket in the drum or the cable itself has got rust in it and it's not retracting here. I just replaced the top cable about 3 months ago, and the lower one was functional, but now it's been sticking out. You can see a kink here while I tried to push it back with some pliers just to make sure it didn't drag until I could get it fixed, but that didn't work. It's locked up solid. So we're going to pull the wheel off and see what's wrong with it. You might see kind of like greasy material all over this wheel. It's not grease. I don't have an axle seal leak. It's actually fluid film. I'm in upstate New York, and the salt is everywhere in the wintertime. So I spray my hub and my wheel and the lug nuts and all that with fluid film every year, and it makes a greasy mess, but at least it keeps the hub and the wheel from turning into a ball of rust. Hey, obviously I got the truck jacked up. I got a jack stand under it. Let's go ahead and pull the drum off. Boom, like that. And you see a little bit of discoloration in the drum there. Looks a little colored. That's because the shoe has been dragging a little bit because the thing's held up. And that's no good. It means it's going to wear the brake shoe out. And I already see why this cable's failed. See here, this is just bare steel. This thing, I'm sure, is rusted up inside there and failed. It's steel all the way back up until it goes into the thing. So the new cable is coated in plastic the entire way, but this old steel cable has allowed rust to get in there. Since the cable, I already know the cable's bad, I'm going to use a grinder. I'm just going to cut through the cable with a grinder. It'll make it a lot easier to remove the old one if it's in two pieces. All right, back in here is the lever arm where the cable attaches. It's got a little spring on it. I should be able to take a bar here and see first if my arm and the cable seized right up there on the outside. See, this arm moves like this. That's what moves your pieces back and forth. I'm going to push on the spring, take some tension off it. I take tension off the spring, should be able to pull the end of the cable out. Oh. Now the cable has just pulled free there, it unseized. That helps me get that off, and I've overextended my bar here. Anyways, you see where it was rusty on the end there. Now on the backing plate here, there's a spring-loaded clip piece that's got some springs. They're like spring-loaded fingers that grab onto the backing plate. I can probably just bend it. It's probably rusty enough. I can probably just bend them and get the piece to come out. We'll see. Or not. Alright, after lots of struggling, I was able to get that out. You see the remnants of the spring clips on there. It was completely rusted and junk. But I got it out of there, so now we are ready to move the rest of the cable, which just kind of loops around here. There's a bolt-on bracket right here where my finger is that holds the cable here. And same thing up here, there's a spring clip on the end of it to remove it from the bracket. The bolt that retains this little clip that holds the cable is a 1/2-inch socket. It's a 5/16 self-tapping screw bolt. Then the cable will come free. You can take the tension off this cable here, get the end of it out. It's simply bend it and turn it, and the end comes out of a side of the bracket. There's a hole in it here, you can push it out. Yeah, it's all seized up here, all rusted and seized up. Don't want to lose our jack stand. And the same thing here, there's like a little spring clip, I believe, that holds it on, or is it actually a clip? Where's my screwdriver? Might be an actual, oh, that's just dirt. Okay, Same thing, there's a spring-loaded detent here that usually gets extremely rusty and hard to push, but might have been able to do it here. Okay. There we go. Got it. Now to reinstall a cable, just going to do the reverse of what we did before. It's going to go into the hole here. Now this piece that hooks on has an angle. The cable wants to come out and be angled forward because it's going to go that way. So I'm just going to go and try to click it in here. Before I do that, actually, I'm just going to land the cable over. Now I simply bring the cable here, and there's a lot of slop in it right now because it's not hooked to the truck on the other end yet. Push the spring back, and it allows us to get this end started through the hole there, like that. Give it a little push with the screwdriver. If I pull on the other end of the cable, I can take the slop out of there. So now we've got our spring here. This won't have tension on it until I put it back in and hook it up back on the truck over here. I'll run the cable back where it was, back up here, and we'll go right into that bracket like it was. Both cables back into the bracket, like so, and then, actually I should have landed this first, but this guy will push right through here. Snap in there. Now all I've got to do with the hooker cable is I got to pull on the inner cable of the truck, the front cable, enough to get this to go in there. Bam! Installed like that. Now it is back on there. Now as I go to reattach the drum, or put the drum back on, there's less tension on the shoes because they were pulled out back. There's no tension on the emergency brake now. And I'm sure the shoes, yeah, see how the drum is loose? I can readjust my adjuster wheel on the star wheel on the below, crank it in a couple turns, and put the shoes out. It's down here. So you can see that here. I'm just going to run it out, which puts tension on the shoes. I don't know how far I got to go, but we'll try that. This is trial and error. Put the drum on and feel it. It's still got to go a ways. So that emergency brake was holding a ton of tension on these shoes. Take a big swing at it here. Okay, now it's got some tension. I can still slide the drum on and off. I'm going to go probably another couple of clicks. Okay. Alright, I like that. I can still turn it. There was a little bit of drag when I was putting it on there, so I like that. Let's go ahead and test the emergency brake. I'm just going to put it on, and you guys watch the cable and see how it works. Now it pulled in there, and it should have put the emergency brake on both wheels. It looks like the right cable is a little bit shorter than the left cable, which sometimes you have that with aftermarket parts. Now the drum, I didn't have the pedal pushed all the way down. Now it's pushed all the way down. I can't turn my left rear drum. The right rear is down. Now if I release the tension, it should spring back. And it should release the tension. Now this should have a little, free play in it like that. I can pull on it and it goes back to where it's supposed to be. So we've got engagement with both parking brakes now. And that's how we easily replace an emergency brake cable on an old body style Ford F250. It went pretty easy, just a couple of hand tools and right out here in the driveway. Got her done, and I won't have any brakes dragging anymore on the left side here. And I'll have a functional emergency brake. This truck is a standard shift, so I want to have the emergency brake or parking brake when I park it. I can put the parking brake on, and we've fixed it, so that'll happen. I appreciate you watching this tutorial. If you could, go ahead and subscribe and leave a comment, and we'll see you on the next repair. Thanks for watching. This is Josh. I'm here at the Quick Speed Shop.